Right, I tell you, dramatic start to the show. I haven't even said hello to Dan Bardell and Molly Stevens yet.
Hello.
You guys all right? We've been waiting patiently there to have your opinions. And what I want to talk about, actually, Dan, is what David Ornstein has said in The Athletic, which is we are hearing that release clauses may well have been taken out of this new contract. How significant is that, given that before there's definitely been a little bit of a flirtation between Real Madrid and Haaland?
Yeah, and his father himself is talking about the want for Haaland to move across the leagues. But I think the more time he spent at Manchester City, they realised that really there isn't a better place to play your football. And, you know, I've realised that I'll be nearly 50 by the time his contract expires, and that has frightened me. But I'm not as frightened as defenders in the Premier League will be, because he scored 111 goals in 126 games in all competitions, which is absolutely incredible. We've never seen numbers like it in the Premier League. He's won 2 Premier Leagues, an FA Cup, the Champions League and a Super Cup. Might not get his hands on too many trophies this season, but there's no doubt that he's here until 2034, he'll certainly win a lot more silverware. And you're right about that release clause. That going to me feels like the biggest takeaway to have from it, because that was a slight concern and something that has been mentioned previously. But yeah, this is the January transfer window, but so far, with the signings that are potentially to come as well that we're going to talk about, this is undoubtedly Manchester City's transfer window. At the moment.
Definitely at the moment. And they need to announce a couple of other people first, but it does sound like they're close. So he will be 34 when this contract runs out. He's going to last longer than Pep, isn't he? So it's almost like, you know, he is the main... Pep's been the main man up until this point, but Haaland could be the main man, if you know what I mean, for the next few years.
It's just an incredible deal, an incredible signing. I can't quite believe it. I mean, the statement of intent anyway to bring Haaland to the club in 2022 was enough, but this is just surpassed all expectations, I think. And as you say, he is the future of Manchester United now, Manchester City now. There is no doubt about it.
I think Man United would like him to be the future of Man United.
But on that, you know, I think this is not just massive for Manchester City, but this is a massive blow to world football. It is a proper power blow to know that Manchester City is where his home is for the next 9.5 years. It's just extraordinary. Many teams would love Haaland, of course. I mean, 88 games. What was it? 79 goals, 14 assists, extraordinary numbers, extraordinary player, and just, wow, yeah, so excited to see what he can do past Pep Guardiola, as you say.
Yeah, those were his Premier League numbers, so obviously even more as well in Champions League and in the other cups. It's not just the three of us. You may think it looks a little bit slim here. We've got a couple more with us. We've got Kwaku Afari alongside Manny Brown as well. What do you guys think of this massive news?
Yeah, we can only echo your sentiments, guys. It's absolutely huge news for Manchester City. And we all remember, Manny, the excitement when Erling Haaland made the move from Borussia Dortmund to Man City in 2022. In his very first season, helped the club win the treble. That ever-elusive Champions League finally arrived at the Etihad. More so in terms of what it means for English football than Man City. Is English football in a good place as a result of Erling Haaland signing this long-term contract at Manchester City?
Yeah, I think it's in a great place. We've been seeing these long contracts coming into play now, and I think that's a big statement from Manchester City, amongst all the other noise going on, that, yes, Haaland's here to stay. This is the big project, and there's still big things going on here. So I think it's great news. We've seen what he's done. He's come into the Prem. Initially, people were saying, will he be able to convert the numbers that he's got in the Bundesliga to the Premier League? And he came and blew everything out of the water. It's been absolutely unreal. And the length of the contract in itself speaks for itself. He is the face of City right now.
You mentioned the numbers, eye-watering. In his first season in the Premier League, 36 goals in 35 games. Last season, some people said he was a little bit off it. Still scored 27 goals in 31 league games. This season, again, maybe a drop in form, has still scored 16 league goals. That's one more than Alexander Isak, whose name's on everybody's lips. In terms of Man City going forward, we're hearing about players they're linked with, Marmoush, Rice as well. If you look at Man City, do they have to build around Erling Haaland to ensure they win trophies going forward?
I think, to be honest, Haaland is the focal point. We've seen it. People talk about him getting into play and building up a bit better. But at the end of the day, like you said, the numbers don't lie. Even in a season where people are saying he's playing badly or not doing 16 goals, that's absolutely unreal. And if he can keep doing that anyway, City, of course, they have to build around him. Incredible
coup for not only Man City but the Premier League as they secure the services of one of the greatest goal scorers this country has ever seen.
Yeah, it really is. And in fact, we're going to get more reaction across the day. We're going to hear live from the Manchester City head coach Pep Guardiola in his news conference, and we will have that for you at 12:30 on Transfer Talk. Right, we've got loads coming up this morning on Good Morning Transfers, including hearing from Arne Slot and Eddie Howe. But if you're just joining us, the big news: Manchester City tie Erling Haaland down to a new deal until 2034. More reaction to come. Welcome back. Let's recap the big breaking news. Erling Haaland has signed a new 10-year Manchester City contract. It will keep him at the club until the summer of 2034. The striker said Manchester City is a special club full of fantastic people. They've made this such a special place to be, and I now am City no matter what.